Apple has become more than a company. It's woven into the fabric of our daily lives. From the sleek designs of iPhones and MacBooks to the innovative ecosystems of apps and services, Apple promises simplicity, connection, and modernity. But underneath the glossy finish lies a darker reality. This is the story of the shadows behind the shine of Apple. In 2007, Steve Jobs stood on a stage and changed the world with the release of the first iPhone. It wasn't just a phone, it was a revolution. Apple promised a future where technology was at our fingertips, a seamless experience. The iPhone, iPad, MacBook, Apple Watch, each product an innovation. As Apple's products became a status symbol, few asked, who truly pays the price for innovation? Beyond the product launch events and keynote speeches, there's a side to Apple's success that doesn't make it into the ads. Most Apple products are assembled in factories like Foxconn in China, but these workers don't experience the glamour of Silicon Valley or the sleek design of the latest iPhone. For them, the iPhone represents endless hours of grueling work for wages that barely sustain them. We worked 12-hour shifts, sometimes without breaks. The pressure was immense. If you didn't meet the quota, you'd lose pay. People would collapse from exhaustion, and they wouldn't let us leave until the shift was over. In 2010, a wave of suicides rocked Foxconn's factories. Workers, pushed to the brink by harsh conditions and unrealistic demands, chose death over another day on the assembly line. Foxconn responded not by improving conditions but by installing safety nets, so when workers jumped, they wouldn't die. The magic of Apple's devices lies in its technology: batteries, processors, sleek touchscreens. But to make these miracles of engineering, Apple needs rare earth minerals like cobalt and tantalum. Much of this cobalt comes from the mines of the Democratic Republic of Congo. We work from sunrise to sunset. Many of us are just kids. We dig, hoping to find enough to feed our families. It's dangerous. Cave-ins happen all the time. Without the cobalt mined in places like these, Apple's devices wouldn't exist. But for the people here, this mining isn't innovation. It's a fight for survival in one of the poorest regions of the world. Every iPhone sold contributes to a system that exploits their labor and their lives. My iPhone 6 is barely working. The battery drains in just a few hours, and it keeps freezing up. Do I really need to buy a new one? It sounds like your phone is due for an upgrade. The newer models are much faster, and the battery life is better. Apple's devices aren't just expensive. They're designed to have a short lifespan. Software updates slow down older models, batteries deteriorate, and before long, users are forced to upgrade. It's called planned obsolescence. Apple's sleek designs and advanced technology come with an expiry date built in, ensuring that customers stay locked into a cycle of buying the latest device year after year. The problem is, Apple's products could last much longer, but they choose not to build them that way because it's more profitable to sell you a new one every couple of years. This practice fuels endless consumption, with the added impact of more e-waste in landfills. When we throw away our old iPhones, they don't just disappear. Most end up in landfills like this one in Agbogbloshie, Ghana, where workers, often children, dismantle and burn electronics to salvage small amounts of copper and other valuable metals. I've been working here since I was 11. The smoke makes it hard to breathe, but we need the money. These workers are exposed to toxic fumes that damage their lungs and poison the environment. Apple claims to recycle, but the reality is that much of the world's e-waste ends up here, in places far from where their products are sold. Apple's profits are astronomical, hundreds of billions of dollars each year. But despite being one of the wealthiest companies on the planet, Apple has a long history of using offshore accounts and legal loopholes to avoid paying taxes. Apple routes much of its profits through Ireland, where corporate taxes are lower. In 2013, they were found to have avoided paying billions in US taxes by shifting their profits overseas. While Apple's executives enjoy the benefits of operating in countries like the US, they often pay far less than they should in taxes, leaving ordinary citizens and smaller businesses to pick up the bill. I thought about switching to Android, but then I'd have to give up iMessage. Plus, my Mac wouldn't sync with it. Yeah, once you're in the Apple ecosystem, it's too hard to leave. Apple has perfected the art of locking consumers into its ecosystem. Once you start using Apple products, it becomes difficult to switch to alternatives. Each product is designed to work seamlessly with others, creating a closed loop that discourages competition and consumer choice. Apple's strategy is brilliant but also manipulative. By making it so difficult to leave their ecosystem, they ensure that consumers stay loyal, not because of superior technology, but because the inconvenience of switching is too high. Apple's success isn't just about technology, it's about the story they tell. Their marketing is genius, creating an emotional connection between the product and the user, but this connection blinds us to the darker realities. Apple wants you to see their devices as a symbol of creativity, innovation, and freedom. But behind the carefully polished image is a corporation driven by profit, willing to sacrifice ethics, human rights, and the environment to maintain its dominance. We've welcomed Apple into our lives, allowing it to shape the way we live, work, and communicate. But we often forget the true cost of our convenience and the human toll behind the devices we can't live without. Next time you hold an Apple device, remember, the innovation you see comes with a price far higher than you realize. This is the dark side of Apple.